This is Lucas Hampton-Eddy here at Larry Border Architects and Pencil Point Construction, and today we're going to talk a little bit about lighting. Now, as a design build firm, lighting is a really interesting subject. It is something that straddles construction, interior design, lighting design, and architecture. So I think that as a client, having an overview of what different types of lights exist and what the implications are for the look and feel of your property is very important. So firstly, what is architectural lighting? Well, it is lighting that is installed into the fabric of the building. And these could be things like spotlights, canned lights, cove lights, strip lights, under-counter lights, anything that has a purely lighting function rather than the fixture itself also being attractive to look at. Lighting fixtures that are also decorative are exactly that. Decorative lighting. And here we are talking about wall lights, sconces, chandeliers, table lamps, floor lamps. When it comes to architectural lighting, and I'm going to speak here about overhead lighting, I see a lot of homes that have far more of it than they actually need. Their rooms are being lit with cans or spotlights when they should be lit with chandeliers and sconces. That creates two issues. The first is that the rooms are too bright, and as a result, don't have a sense of mystery and elegance. One of my favorite rooms that I've ever been in was a dining room in San Francisco, and that was illuminated purely by candlelight. It was warm, flattering, and created this intimacy between the guests that overhead lighting would have totally destroyed. As a general rule of thumb, for formal entertaining rooms, for bedrooms, for hallways, you don't need as much light as you think you do. The second major downside of candle spot lighting is that it dates the room. Every single one of those fixtures is like a little timestamp in the ceiling. Walk into a room with no candle spot lighting, and it is surprisingly hard to guess when the house was built. You're probably going to need to rely on the style of millwork around the casements or the fireplaces, but these are subtle architectural features that it takes a trained eye to recognize. The technology of ceiling lighting changes so regularly that without fail, it will accurately date the house to within 5 or 10 years. This is also true of putting things like speakers into the ceiling. Again, something worth thinking about if you are considering going down that route. Finally, drilling a bunch of holes into the ceiling to install overhead lights is another visual interruption that can detract from the overall beauty and elegance of the room. As an example, one of the things that we will see might be a beautifully designed groin vault with LED spotlights in the corners or in the center of it. It just ruins the whole thing. Now, none of this is meant as an attack on architectural lighting. There are a number of rooms where you absolutely have to have some overhead lighting, or wall lights would be deeply impractical. Those rooms will be your closets, your kitchens, where of course you need a lot of light. Storage rooms, media rooms, garages, pantries, etc. Instead, I would say the takeaway from this video is probably that less is more. And again, it is all about being thoughtful and taking the time to think about where it is necessary to have architectural lighting and where it isn't. Here at Pencil Point Construction, our house style is to keep overhead lighting to a minimum in public areas. And we do this to create the most timeless, enduring look that we can, and really make the arts, architecture, and the furnishings the center of attention. But again, let us know what your thoughts are. Jump into the comments section and tell us, do you think more architectural lighting is necessary to create enough light in the room? Or do you think, for instance, in public rooms, that should be mainly left to things like the sconces, to things like the chandeliers?